no trucks, no trains, no barges. In June 1948, Soviet authorities cut every road, railway, and canal lock connecting West Berlin to the rest of occupied Germany. More than 2 million people are suddenly stranded, over 100 miles inside territory that no longer lets a single truck of food through. There is exactly one way left to reach them, and it isn't on the ground. 3 lines are still open, not roads, air corridors, 20 miles wide, guaranteed on paper since 1945 and never once revoked. This is the story of feeding a city through 3 lines in the sky, and a number that has to climb every single day for almost a year, faster than a blockade can tighten. Rewind 3 years. At the end of the war, the Allies carve occupied Germany into 4 zones: American, British, French, and Soviet. Berlin gets the same treatment in miniature, for sectors, 1 city, except the whole city sits more than 100 miles inside the Soviet zone. West Berlin is an island before anyone thinks to call it one. For 3 years the arrangement is uneasy, but it holds. Then, in June 1948, the Western Allies introduce a new currency in their zones to stop the old, inflated one from collapsing. Soviet authorities read it as a permanent Western foothold hardening inside their own territory. Within days, the crossings into Berlin start closing, one at a time. On June 24th, the last routes close. Every road, every railway, every barge canal into West Berlin is cut. The message is blunt: leave the currency dispute or watch the city starve. There are 3 ways to answer a blockade like this: force an armed convoy through, and risk a war nobody actually wants; abandon the city, and hand Soviet authorities the outcome without firing a shot; or use the one route the 1945 agreements never closed: the air. General Lucius Clay, the American military governor, pushes for the third option, and gives it a name: Operation Vittles. President Truman backs the commitment from Washington. Within days, the British launch a parallel effort of their own, Operation Plainfare, flying from separate bases with separate aircraft toward the same 3 corridors. From here, keep one number in view: tons delivered per day. Stay below roughly 4,500, and West Berlin runs out of coal and bread before any diplomat can fix this. That's the counter this whole map is now racing against. The corridors themselves are not new. A northern route from Hamburg, a central route from Bickerberg, a southern route from Frankfurt, each exactly 20 miles wide, written into the post-war access agreements back in 1945. Nobody designed them for a siege, but they are air routes the occupying powers themselves already recognized, a gap a blockade cannot simply erase. 2 airfields already serve the city: Tempelhof in the American sector, Gatow in the British. Together, they are still not enough for what's coming. The French sector has no airfield at all, so French engineers and Berlin laborists build one from nothing. Tegel, a full runway finished in roughly 90 days, built partly from the rubble of bombed buildings, hauled in by hand and by railcart. The first weeks are chaos, planes circling, waiting their turn, burning fuel they can't spare. So American Commander William Tunner redesigns the whole operation like a factory line: 1 approach, 1 altitude, 1 landing attempt per aircraft. If a pilot misses it, they fly the load home and try again, no exceptions. Ground crews learn to unload a plane in under 10 minutes without the pilot ever leaving the cockpit. The airlift stops being a rescue improvised on the fly and becomes a schedule. The system works. Within months, the airlift is regularly clearing the 4,500-ton target the city needs just to survive the day, some days well past it. By the time the operation ends, aircrews will have delivered roughly 2.3 million tons of cargo through these 3 corridors alone. Not every ton on this route is coal. American pilot Gail Halvorsen starts wiggling his wings and dropping handkerchief parachutes of chocolate and gum to children waiting at the Tempelhof fence. It starts as one pilot's private habit. Within weeks it's an approved operation, Little Vittles, and for a lot of Berliners, it's the moment this stops feeling like an occupation and starts feeling like a rescue. Winter is the real enemy here, not Soviet authorities. Fog grounds flights for days at a stretch. Ice builds on wings faster than ground crews can chip it clear, and more than one aircraft goes down short of the runway in weather no pilot would normally fly in. Across the full operation, crashes and accidents along these corridors cost the lives of at least 101 aircrew and ground personnel, American, British, and German, the price paid to keep that counter climbing through the cold. By spring, crews are flying at a tempo built for a war, not a relief mission. On April the 16th and 17th, 1949, the Easter Parade, pilots log 1,398 flights in 24 hours and land almost 13,000 tons of coal in a single day, planes touching down, at their busiest, barely 90 seconds apart. On May 12, 1949, Soviet authorities reopen the roads, the railways, and the canals. The blockade, after almost 11 months, is over. But look at the corridors. They don't switch off. Flights keep landing for months afterward, stockpiling supplies in case the roads ever close again. No army conquered Berlin here. A blockade failed, and an airlift held, not with force, but with a number that never stopped climbing for 11 straight months. In May 1949, the three Western zones become one new country, the Federal Republic of Germany. In October, the Soviet zone answers with its own, the German Democratic Republic. The occupation zones that were supposed to be temporary have just become two permanent states, and Berlin, the island in the middle, will stay divided along exactly this line for the next 40 years, a divide the Berlin Wall will make physical in 1961. So the lines that decided this were never the roads Soviet authorities cut. There were three 20-mile bands of open sky nobody thought to close in 1945, carrying a number that climbed every day for almost a year, until a blockade built to starve a city instead confirmed the shape of a divided continent. Whoever could still fly, still fed the city. That was the whole contest.